Good morning, good morning, good morning. We got market open coming up, and here we are. So we swept those 8 a.m. lows pretty early. We hit that key level of London low, and we're tapped into this 5 minute inefficiency. We're also into a 1 hour inefficiency as well. So we're rejecting off constant encroachment of that 1 hour inefficiency. So right now what we're looking at, I'm looking at the 5 minute, since we're pretty far below this 8 hour, this 8 a.m. low. We have a 5 minute inefficiency here, 5 minute SIBI that I'm looking at. See if we inverse this, and if price wants to head up towards these 8 a.m. highs. So we got a rejection off the constant encroachment of this 5 minute gap as well, and we went up, got a rejection off this 5 minute SIBI. So price is kind of indecisive right now, so we'll see what price wants to do. Are we going to get a continuation lower? We have our close from yesterday, so we have our new day opening gap. This is the high up here of settlement, and we just opened here. So we got some nice buy side targets to the upside. We have our 8 a.m. highs, we have our London highs, we have New York open, and we have settlement, we have Asia highs. So if price wants to continue down, we do have some liquidity up here that it should snag up before going down. On the daily, we're looking kind of bearish, which is simply a pullback on the daily. But I mean, we could go as far down, as this the bottom of this new week opening gap, or so it could dump pretty hard if that's what it decides to do. But hopefully we're looking for a retracement up before we head down. So this morning we're going to be patient this morning. Tentatively, I'd like to wait until that 950 macro to see how far down price wants to go before heading for a pullback to the upside. Or so we are dumping pretty low. We do have these equal lows here that price may head down for before heading up, but we shall see. I'd like to mark this 15-minute. So we are looking pretty bearish this morning. However, we're going to just remain patient to see what price decides to do ultimately. That 950 macro will tell us a better story. I'm just going to mark out the bottom of this 15-minute gap. Let's see if we body below here, that would be it. We would have inverse this 15-minute bullish fair value gap. So instead of marking out the whole box there, I'll just give us a line. So pretty good reaction there. To the upside. So what I'll be looking for now is an inversion. Maybe this 5 minute. The body close above here. So we're getting some pretty good reaction off of this 5 minute SIBI. So that tells me that sellers are sitting here pretty strong. So if we do inverse this 5 minute, that would be pretty good indication that we'd be headed for higher prices, simply because of the many times that price has been rejected at this area. So this is a new 5 minute candle here. So we're looking to see if we get a body closure. So I'll just set my tool there in case. We got about 3 minutes until this candle ends. If it looks like it might, if it leaves without us, it leaves without us, but I kind of want that confirmation before I head up. We did get an inversion on the 1 minute, which would have been a pretty good. That's our first presented fair value gap there on the 1 minute. It'd be nice if we get a retest on that 1 minute. I definitely a retest and a rejection on that 1 minute. So let's go here. We got 5 minutes for this 15-minute close on this inversion. If you get an inversion here, that'd be a nice entry. I get a continuation up into this 8 a.m. Looks like we're about to get this 5 minute inversion. So it looks like we are going to invert that 5 minute. That's a small 5-minute gap there, so I'd put more weight on this 15. It's like we're pushing up pretty high here. Heading towards that 8 a.m. high. I'd like to see a nice little. It'd be nice if we get a nice little pullback at the close of this 15-minute candle before sweeping those highs. Kind of missed my entry there on the 1 minute, which was that inversion, that first presented fair value gap on the 1 minute. We didn't get much of a pullback and retest there. It did retest that and bank back up, so maybe we'll get a retest here of this 1 minute order block before heading back up. But I'm gonna look here on this 15. We got about 2 minutes left on the 15. So let's see if we invert this 15-minute inefficiency here. I just want to see what this looks like here. That would be pretty good there. So we got about 40 seconds left on this 15-minute candle. It looks like we'll get a nice inversion there. Looks like we're gonna tap those 8 a.m. highs. So we had an early sweep of the lows. Tap these 8 a.m. highs. So, and looking forward, we could fall in alignment with the trend, the bearish trend here, and see if it sweep these highs and tap into one of these levels here and then look for the short. But I'm thinking that would probably be later in the session. Just thinking out loud here. But it looks like we got a pretty good close on this 15-minute. Now if we can get a nice pullback into this 15-minute gap for a retest, it would be a good entry. That's kind of what I'm looking for there. We can get a pullback into that area, so we just wicked above that 8 a.m. So now we're just trying to look for high probability entry without trying to chase price. So I'm going to set that up. So this is kind of what I want to see here. So okay. So it looks like it left us behind on this limit order here. So let's see if I can pull this up here. What we got here, on my TradeAvate account, we did enter here. I entered here. I was waiting for the pullback here to show you guys, but I entered here, pulled my stop loss up, so we're in profit, about 400 bucks here. I set my take profit here up at the New York Midnight Open. I'm aggressively dragging my stop loss just to lock in those profits, but it looked like price was so bullish that I didn't want to miss the opportunity. I kind of missed my opportunity down here on this first presented fair value gap that was created and inverted, and we would have been looking into this profit, keeping it with my model sweep of the 8 a.m. lows with a key level tapped into, and then a reversal up into those 8 a.m. highs. So being as though we swept those 8 a.m. lows early, tapped into a key level being the London lows and a 1 hour fair value gap, and it stopped us out there. So it stopped us at about 292 in profit, which is not too bad there. It looks like that was a nice little pullback that it's getting in, that it hit into. We may be heading up into those and I don't want to chase price here. This is what I don't want to do, even though it looks very bullish here. So what we may do is I'll take those and it looks like we're trying to see it, just a slight rejection here of that area. So let's go here and see where we are. So I'm just going to get rid of this because it never came back and tapped us in where we wanted to go. So we got a lot of confirmation. We got an inversion on the 15-minute. We got a 15-minute change in state of delivery. The 1 minute is looking very well. We're looking at possible draw on liquidity. This New York Open, New York Midnight Open. If we can get a nice nice pullback, down and to retest these highs, I'd be interested in re-entering. So we're in the 950 macro now. So this will tell us where we want to deliver. So we swept these highs. We've swept the 8 a.m. highs. We haven't really hit any key levels to speak of. We opened below the prior day lows. So we're headed up towards the gap fill up there. We have pretty good targets to the upside. Trading views freezing up on me. So we do have a 1 hour. Sibby up there. Yeah, so I'm looking for a nice pullback here. We're about 2 minutes into this 950 macro. If we can get a manipulation pullback leg down here to these 8 a.m. highs, I like to see us go right into that New York Open. I'd place my stop loss below VWAP and below this low here. So I'll set this up for a buy limit on a TradingView account. You're going to be patient. Be patient here and look for this pullback. Having some trouble today with lagging, so it looks like we're pulling back here pretty good, retesting those highs. So I set up a buy limit here, and if we're wrong, we'll be wrong pretty quick. Got a very short stop. I got about a 30-point stop there. It's going to tap us in. We got a 5-minute inversion there that it looks like it's retesting. There's the top of that 5-minute inversion. So it just came down, retest that 5-minute inversion, and it's headed back to the upside. So you got to be careful with all this volatility. Maybe trying to trap you in. So we do have a change in state of delivery on the 5-minute and the 15-minute, which is good, which is aligning. It's just a question of timing when you look at these entries, because you could be on the right side of the trade, but at the wrong time, and that could easily give you a stop loss tap without question. So you see a lot of resistance to the upside here in this area. So sellers are pretty strong right here in this 550, this 550, 520 area. So be as it may, you can see a lot on that 1 minute there. So that's why I'm looking at a tap. I want to see a tap down into here, a deeper retracement before going higher. So we may need to come down and pull some more liquidity before gaining more strength to the upside. Our target being New York midnight open and the close of the new day opening gap. We have yet to hit any significant key levels above our 8 a.m. highs, which would be our first would be a London high. We did create some inversions on the 1 minute and the 5 minute, also on the 15 minute. So structurally, we have structural confirmation to the upside. As far as key levels and key areas of liquidity, we haven't really seen much after that sweep of that 8 a.m. high. So that's what I'm looking for. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah, I want to see how price reacts after sweeping one of these key levels. Okay, so we're coming up to this new hourly candle. So we got about, let's see, about 30 seconds left before we get this new hourly candle. This is hourly candle, which was a nice open above there. Let's see. It still didn't hit our London high key level here, so let's see what price is doing. So far, we created an upper wick on that 1 hour candle. Yeah, we're still looking in this area. It's kind of chopping around. Let me get rid of this here. We never really pulled back into that area I was looking at for a nice retracement and then a buy-in. So let's see what we do with this new hourly candle, and we're still in this 950 macro. So we may see us pull back and get tapped in here. I'm just gonna leave that there. Let's see kind of what we're thinking here. It's kind of, we see a nice consolidation. I'm gonna put it on the 1 minute here. You see it's consolidating, kind of wicked up, broke these highs, and came back down. So let's see if it sweeps back down and hit these lows, tap us in before going up. That would kind of be that's kind of be the idea there. As we sweep these equal lows here, come down here, tap us in, and pump us up. Yeah, so ideally what we wanted to do, this was this was a perfect 2022 entry model here, where we had a smart money reversal here with expansion, fair value gap. This was our first fair value gap that was inverted, came back down, retest up. We had a nice pullback, and then a nice expansion, creating a fair value gap, pull back into the fair value gap, up again. So we got a nice consolidation here. So let's see if we get this pullback, sweep these lows that we talked about, retest these 8 a.m. highs and tap us in. We still haven't swept that low yet. We still got a little bit there. Hopefully it's enough to tap us in here for this buy limit. So typically this is not the area I like to long in, being in between my 200 simple moving average and the 20 simple moving average. Usually once it comes below this 20 kind of sort of wants to act like resistance sometimes. Whereas what's keeping the play alive also is we're above VWAP. So VWAP kind of outstrengthens this 20. So I'm looking to come down, bounce off of VWAP, and then go up still. That would be a possible entry. If it leaves without us, it just kind of leaves without us. But we already got one good trade in on the Trade of 8 account for about 292. So that was a 50K eval, which I'm perfectly okay with if another opportunity doesn't present itself. So I want to play this, even though it's an eval, I do want to play this account safe, because most traders will act as if you don't have any real money at risk, and you do. When you buy into those evals, that's real money. So it's kind of perplexing when they say, "Oh, I just eval, I just blow it." No, it's real money. I mean, it's a business expense, but you kind of want to play it the same as a live account as any other account. And you want to build good habits. You don't want to just have certain habits that you're developing trading evals that you wouldn't necessarily implement on a live account or an account with more at risk, because you're just creating bad habits. Now, for me as myself, you've heard me say in the past, I will trade an eval a little bit more aggressively, where it's taking some entries and things of that nature, because we do want to pass them, but at the same time, we don't want to take unnecessary risk. So we're approaching the end of this macro here, so we want to see price kind of head to the upside. So we just tapped into a London highs, headed towards New York midnight open, which was our target. So doesn't look like we're going to be able to swing back into that. But so all in all, what we were missing here is just a little bit of timing. We did get in a small trade there before the 950 macro. But ultimately, as I said, when we inverted this first presented fair value gap here with expansion, that was our entry there. So that's what we wanted to see. Now we're sitting here trying to find a good entry. That I believe there's more. We still have more to the upside here. We're in a consolidation, boom, to the upside. So we still have more room to the upside. We still haven't hit the New York midnight open. We still have our settlement area where to close the gap, and we have Asia highs there. So we have plenty of room to the upside. The point is trying to get in at a safe in a safe way. So looks like we hit the New York midnight open. Let's check our daily chart here. So this is our daily fair value gap here. We have a daily fair value gap there. If we close the day, it looks like we would have inverted that. You see how it kind of retested perfectly into consummate encroachment of that daily fair value gap and then rejected up. So we may very well see higher prices here, at least to prior day highs throughout the day. But immediately speaking, we have Asia highs as a target, which doesn't seem that too far off. So looking to get in on these longs, we would need a nice healthy pullback. So our next area of interest would be here. If we can get a pullback down into this area here. And That's what we're looking at there. So let's see if we can get a pullback. So this was a nice easy trade the day before news. So we do have Friday. We have some red folder 80. We have unemployment rate. So non-farm. Yeah. So the day before this red folder news is some good price action. So we closed the gap. We hit our targets here to the upside. So there was a lot of targets to the upside here. Unfortunately, we didn't get our entry here. I was playing around on the other time frames instead of holding true to the 1 minute. And right at the open, we had our new first presented 1 minute fair value gap that was inverted with expansion. Came down and just went on up from there. So if we don't get a pullback into this area, I'll probably call it a day. And maybe shorts will be the play on the PM session. And we do have we did tap into that 1 hour fair value gap already. So this is where you kind of got to be careful here. So chasing into these longs, you really got to be careful at that point. We have a 4 hour here. So this is our H4 SIBI here, which is a good area for drawing liquidity. We're kind of in. We're already in our 1 minute, our 1 hour. Tapped our 1 hour fair value gap there. So it kind of lines up just above consummate encroachment of that 1 hour fair value gap. What I'll do is put a quadrant level there. Better yet, let's put a gradient level there. So we've hit London. Let's get rid of that. I'll keep midnight there. Close the gap there. Get rid of that. So now this, what I've marked out here is that 1 hour fair value gap. It looks like it's heading up into Asia high, which is here. We're getting some nice pull, nice push into there, into those highs. Right after the consolidation here, we're getting a push into those highs. So it didn't really kind of give any kind of, you see all these pullbacks were kind of small, really give the kind of pullback I wanted to see to get into and a safe entry here. So it just, maybe it's just one of those days where we take our $300 profit and, you know, walk away. But shorts would be the play here after sweep of those 8 a.m. highs. We've tapped these key levels. Now we're looking into higher time frame PD arrays. So if we start to reject off of these higher time frame PD arrays and start seeing some market shifts to the downside, you'd be looking for a possible reversal and shorts to the downside, which would probably more than likely be the case for our PM sessions. So let's see if we get, we could get it here on this pullback here, stop loss here, and let's see what the RR would be. Not too shabby. Let's see if we can't make something happen there. If we get a pullback to here, let's put it below this wick here. Take profit there. Stop loss here. Let's see if it wants to do that. See if it wants to do that. See, yeah, it's kind of tippy-toeing around there. Didn't want to. Just kind of wanted to just sweep this wick here. Sweep below here. There's a nice pullback before we hit those Asia highs. Every time we set it up for a setup on the buy limit, it barely misses us before going higher. So I wish to think this would be any different. So we broke those highs. Might tap us in here. Let's see. Let's see. Does it want to work? We're getting some consolidation here on the 1 minute. So that's a good setup to consolidate. See some consolidation. Sweep these lows, these interior lows, and then head higher. So we still are in our interior price movement from interior to exterior. So we are still in discount. The shorts are viable here. Haven't hit our 50% mark, equilibrium area there yet, but it's fastly approaching. So we still didn't get the pullback we were looking for. The tap is in for those for our entry model before hitting that Asia high. So we're looking for this second trade into these Asia highs. But we are currently in a 1 hour SIBI, which is kind of giving us some resistance here. Yeah, so this is a 15-minute here. We have the end of this wick here to the top of this wick here. That's a 15-minute gap here. So if we got above here and closed right around that 709 area, that would be definite confirmation for more highs. But you can see how we're rejecting, and it did tap us in on that pullback. It looks like a little bit more than a pullback on this one. So let's see if we respect these lows. If we break these lows, we don't want to be in this trade anyway. It did pull back and tap us in, which was, fortunately, we didn't chase those longs up in there. We waited for that pullback. As of now, it is respecting this low where our stop loss is. It kind of pulled back and deep into that area, a little bit deeper than I would have liked, and it may be looking like it's continuing down because, like I said before, I don't like when price starts to get below my my 20 simple moving average. But we are down here, and we do have our VWAP area, which is a nice area of support. I did not take this trade on my live account or my eval account. We just set this trade up on our TradingView account to see where it would go, and it tapped us out there. So now we're starting to break structure to the downside. We didn't quite sweep Asia highs. We did sweep some key levels. So let's get rid of these lines here. get rid of these lines here. Came back to retest New York Open. So as soon as we hit into that premium area, we rejected from those Asia highs and came down. So this is a nice pullback. So we retested that New York midnight open, and it's respecting that area. So let's see if we get below the New York midnight open with a body closure and look for possible reversal. We did leave a gap here on the way down. Not the highest probability trade, but that could work. But as it is now, we're looking like we may be looking into the reversal as we